everyone, I hope you're all doing really well today. So I'm so excited to be filming this video for you guys to tell you about my favorite products from Mally Beauty. So to tell you just a little bit about the brand, because I know a lot of people have heard about it, a lot of people haven't. So Mally Beauty, first of all, is a makeup line launched by the celebrity makeup artist Mally Roncal. And so it kind of debuted, I think, on QVC, and then Mally has her own website that also sells the product. So you can find these online at QVC or on Mally's website, which is mallybeauty.com, I believe. And recently here in the past month or two, Ulta has started carrying a select amount of her items on their website. And I think, actually, I heard in the past like maybe week or two, select Ultas has started carrying some of her products as well. So I'm really excited about that because in general, I love the products. The line is just really high quality and really fantastic. Smart packaging, smart marketing, the way that she calls a lot of her products like bulletproof, that they don't move or whatever, and a lot of that is because she will give you a setting powder to go along with the product. And then a lot of the cream products that don't have setting powders really are just really good quality that don't move. And also Mally herself is just completely adorable. Like, she is one of those like really over-the-top people, very unique, and I at heart, like, I always want to believe like the best in people, but at heart there's always like a part of me that's like a skeptic, like, is this just a show, or, you know, do I believe this person or whatever? But like with her, when I watch her, she is just a doll. Like, I totally buy it. I mean, I think she's totally a genuine, completely lovely person, and of course that makes me want to buy her products even more because, you know, I always am inclined to give my money to a good cause or a great person over a nameless organization. Oh, and even though I'm saying all these great things about her company, they do not have a clue who I am, and I bought all these products myself, and I am not being paid by them or anything like that. So anyway, I'm going to tell you about the products, kind of the order that I would apply them on my face. So I'm going to tell about face products first, and then I'm going to get to eye products and a few brushes at the end. So the first product I want to tell you guys about is the Mally Cancellation Concealer System in the shade Fair, and then I also have the shade Light Medium. So what it is it's like kind of cardboard packaging. You open it up and there's a nice mirror there, and then you have the concealer is on one side, and then there's a setting powder on the other side. And so the concealer itself is a very thick cream-based type formula, and I've had these, even though they're just cardboard packaging that's like magnetic, so it's not sealed or anything, I've had these over a year and they are perfectly exactly the same as they were when I first got them. They haven't dried out at all. So I mean, I don't know if they will dry out in the future, but they're totally just as creamy as they were to begin with. So it is very thick, so I enjoy applying this better with my fingers because my fingers help to like smooth out the product and apply it the way that I want. I actually use this to conceal my under eye area today and as my concealer on my face, and you can see my dark circles are actually really quite dark, and it did a really nice job. It's more of a full coverage type concealer, and then if you apply the setting powder on top of it, it helps it to last really well. And when I do it on my under eyes, I do get creasing just a little bit, but I have like really, I don't even know if you guys can see them on the camera, but I have two really dark creases like underneath, just right underneath my lash line on both of my eyes, and pretty much every concealer that I use under my eye creases there. And so what I usually do is I apply my concealer and then I'll blot that away like maybe once or twice, and then I don't have any more problems. And that's the same problem that I have with this. It's really no different than any other concealer that I use under my eye. I don't think it's a fault with this product in particular, but I just wanted to tell you guys about that because it does happen on my eye. So anyway, I love those products. And then the next thing I want to tell you about is her famous sort of, this is one of her really popular products called the Shimmer Shape and Glow. I love her marketing and how she calls these things. It's basically just a blush, highlight, contour palette, and it's comes in like a really nice metal container. I love the pink. It's so pretty and girly and so heavy duty, and there's a lovely, fantastic mirror in there that's huge, and then there's a blush, and then there is a contour, and then there is a highlight shade right there. And so they're all powder products, and my shade that I got is called Life is Lighter. And so the contour shade in this one is For my skin tone, and I'm fair, my skin tone is basically like any line that has like the lightest of the light foundation. That will be too light for me, but otherwise I always get the lightest shade of foundation in any line. This is like it. I can use it. I used it as a contour today, but if it were any lighter, it probably wouldn't show up, and this is probably the lightest shade I've ever used to contour with. It's like a no-brainer shade. If you're fair and you are afraid to contour, this would be like your best friend, I'm telling you. And it also has a little bit of cool tone, a little bit of gray tone to it, so it doesn't do the orange. Like, I have an orange stripe like underneath my cheekbone, which I hate with contour shades. It's really a nice shade. It's just like I'm saying, I had to use a very thick brush and put it on. Otherwise, if I had put it on lightly, I wouldn't have been able to see it on my skin, but I did use it and it did work. Just very subtle and totally no-brainer. And then for some reason, a couple of her products, I've had trouble with the powder products being too like hard, and I think that I have gotten a dud like on a few of them, because I love this shade right here. I wish I had one that wasn't a dud, because mine is like really hard and the product won't come off on my brush. I have to like scrape it off with my nail and try to use it that way. But anyway, otherwise this is beautiful, and I'm sure if you got it, it probably wouldn't be a dud like mine. Mine is just so hard. I'm sure it was like an old one or just a bad formula in a bad batch or something like that. But the highlight shade is also very nice, and I will swatch that for you right here. And it's pretty fine for a powder, and I like it. I used it today on my cheeks, like on my upper cheekbones, and when I mean, it is a powder, so it's not as smooth as a liquid, so you do see like tiny little shimmer particles, but they're very fine and it doesn't bother me at all. I think it's a beautiful highlight. So I like that product. And then the next thing that I really love, this is definitely one of my favorite products from Mally Beauty. It is the 24/7 Professional Blush in Blush Light, and this is the one that has it's got the same packaging, like the metal packaging, as the other one I just showed you, and it's got basically a cream blush on one side and a powder blush on the other side. So same concept, you put on a cream and then you put powder on top to set it, and it lasts longer. And so I'm wearing this today, and I put it on very subtly, but actually both of these products are incredibly pigmented. You could use either one by itself, but when you use them together, they last a really long time, and they are really beautiful shades. And I'm going to hold it here, I'll swatch it for you. And see how pigmented that was? You really have to use a light hand. I know it says blush light, but I can't imagine what blush dark is like, because these are both like really pigmented. But I mean, I love the shade of them. They're just a really neutral, beautiful pink, and I just think they're gorgeous. And then the famous Mally Evercolor Poreless Face Defender. I really like that product too, and let's see, if I can get into it. It's like in a plastic container, and there's a nice mirror. And then, so what this is, I'm sure if you guys have been on YouTube a long time, Emily Noel 83 has talked about this product like a ton. It's like a hard sort of product that is, I don't know, it's basically like a big thick thing of what might be like silica. Like if you touch it and you rub your fingers, it feels dry, but it doesn't feel like a powder. It just feels like it slips between your fingers. So I think it's like silica or some kind of product that's just absorbent of oil, and it just looks matte. So it doesn't look like a powder. You apply it like with a sponge, and I will like put a sponge there and just like pat it on after I've done everything. This is not a base. This is like you put it on after you've done everything else, and it mattifies your face, but you don't see any like powder at all on top of your face, which is a really unique product. I like that product. It's really nice. And then I'm also a fan of her eyeshadow base, and I have just a single right here. I have it in several of my palettes too, but I have a single right here. And all of this packaging that isn't the cardboard one, it's all so super nice, and like the mirrors are super nice. I just think it's so adorable. And so the shadow base is like a really thick, creamy consistency, and again, I've had this at least over a year, and it has not dried out or anything like that. So even though it's not like in a sealed airtight container, it hasn't dried out. And so you can apply this. I've applied it with a flat concealer type of brush all over my lid and my upper eye, and I've applied it with my finger, and I just think it's a really nice base. I've heard Emily Noel 83 say that it creases for her if she applies too much, so she's not a big fan. I have had no trouble at all with this base, creasing. I don't have the most oily lids, so maybe that's why, but I just haven't had any kind of trouble at all. I mean, I will have creasing if I get something that's really liquidy, and I just haven't had that problem with this product, so I enjoy that. So it's really hard to choose, but this next product that I'm going to tell you guys about might be like my favorite product from Mally Beauty. There are a couple that are like dear to my heart, but this one is really fantastic. So it is the Mally Citychick Smoky Eye Kit in the color Brownstone. So why I love this product. It's like perfection in a smoky eye kit. Like smoky eye kit for complete idiots. Anyone can apply this and it just looks so beautiful, and when I first got it, there's things about it that make you think, oh, it's not so nice, but really, like, somehow it's genius, like, and I just love how everything works. So I'll tell you about all the shades. First of all of these Citychick Smoky Eye Kits come with her eyeshadow base here, and so I've used that, but a lot of times I reach for other eyeshadow bases, so I haven't used it a ton. And then the highlight shade that comes with this is perfection. It is exactly what I want in a highlight shade. I mean, that's all I had to say. I don't know if it's going to show up. Oh, I don't know if that showed up very well. Here, let me show you just on my finger. It's very, very smooth. It's not like super, super light like whites where you have like the really shiny brow bone that's so 1990s. It's so smooth. For my skin tone, it is perfection, and I just absolutely love that. It's so finely milled, no fallout or anything like that. It's just beautiful highlight shade. The second shade is the eyeshadow shade that she has called Brownstone, and this thing, I absolutely love it. It's like a light-ish to medium kind of a brown color that is also the same type of formula as this one right here, where it's shimmery but it's smooth and it no fallout, and it is just like the most lovely neutral kind of, maybe a tiny bit warm, maybe a little bit tiny bit reddish to it, but really mostly neutral brown shade. It is just so nice, and so nice for the lid. It's like not too dark. I don't know if this is going to show up really, really well. It isn't looking good on my monitor, but I hope that you guys can see it. Anyway, it is just so fantastic. And then the last shade in this palette, when I first got this, I was not happy that it was as light as it was. I was like, man, I sure wish that was darker. It's just a matte shade that is just a matte kind of darker brown. Not super dark, but it's just, you know, towards the darker side. And so the reason why this is just like complete perfection, other than the things that I've already said, is that what you do, like Mally's instructions for this palette, of course you can use it any way you want, but she says sweep this all over your lid, and then put this all over close to your lash line, and then just blend the two shades together, and ba-boom, like you're done. And I have to tell you, like, it does that. I mean, it's not the most dramatic smoky eye, but like for a daily smoky eye, it is so pretty. And you can either use this one if you want a more subtle shade to smudge underneath your lash line, or you can use this one if you want a little bit more intense shade. And I put this on today. I used all these colors and the base, and I will show you kind of what it looks like. I actually did a tutorial using this palette just for my, like, a really daily smoky eye. So it's just a little smudgy, a little smoky, and I used the darker shade underneath. I used Mally liner on my waterlines, and you can see, like, on the lid, like, it's just a really subtle color, and I smudged the darker one, and you can't really even, I mean, it's not really dramatic, but it is just pretty. And it's easy. Like, it's just the easiest, prettiest thing. And when I first apply, this one gets a little bit of fallout, so I would say like tap off the excess, definitely. This one gets a little bit of fallout, so I'd say tap off the excess for sure before you go to apply it on your eye. But when I first started applying this, I would put it on my eye, I'd be like, man, this isn't really dark. Like, this isn't what I wanted. I wanted a darker shade or whatever. But somehow it just like comes together, and it just is so good for everyday use. That's why I've used it so much. Like, it's just beautiful. Like, for just everyday, I just can't say enough about this product. I love this product. Enough said. The next thing are the Mally Evercolor Shadow Sticks, which Emily Noel 83 has talked a lot about, and I actually have some of the shades that she's talked about a lot. I have 4, and so one of them that is really great is called Saddle Shimmer, and I swatched it for you right there. It's just sort of like a little bit of a bronzy kind of color. It's really pretty. And then The next one is Champagne, and it is a nice highlight shade right next to that. And then the other one I have is called Twilight, which is like a taupey type shade, which I love because it looks really dark right now, but if you just put it all over your lid and blend it like up into your crease, it becomes a lot more subtle than what it looks on my hand right now, and it is just like the easiest color for like a subtle eye, like, you know, do this, do that, and then go out the door kind of look. I mean, it's so pretty. And then this one is called Brown. And it is kind of very similar to Saddle Shimmer, but it's not as shimmery. This one's a little bit not as metallic as Saddle Shimmer. And so what I love about these shadow sticks is that, I mean, you can probably find a lot of reviews about these in particular because they're a popular product of hers, but they, like, the packaging is wonderful. Like, the tip of it is thick enough that you can easily, like, do a couple swipes to put it on your lid and cover your whole lid, or you can kind of do one swipe underneath your eye and then smudge it out as kind of like a smudgy, like, liner look. I mean, they're not too big, they're not too small, and when you first put it on, it doesn't set up. You have like a good little amount to work on it. I'm not going to put like a number to it, but I mean plenty of time to work with it, but then it sets. You don't have to wait a long time. Like, it will set after you're finished with it, and then it literally will not go anywhere until you want to take it off, and then it comes off easily, which that is, what more could you ask for in a product? Like, nothing, really. So I love these. They're fantastic. The next product that I want to tell you guys about is the Mally Evercolor Ultimate Waterproof Eyeliners. And I've talked about these before in some of my like favorites videos, and my two favorite shades are just the plain old like black and the plain old brown. The brown that I have is Espresso Lane, and the black is called Get on the Jet Black. And last time I was on QVC, it wasn't called Get on the Jet Black, but they did have another brown, so this brown Espresso Lane is the one that I have and I love. And so I used Espresso Lane today. Like, I used it like on my upper lash line, and I used it in my waterline. I didn't use it underneath. I used the darker matte shade from that last compact that I showed you guys, the Smokey Eye Kit. And so these are just, I don't know, they're easy to use. They're plain colors that are wonderful. They are super duper smooth. You don't have to sharpen them. They never dry out. I've had these over a year and they have not dried out. When you put them on, they tend to stay all day, except I have a problem like on the outer corners of my eyes. Like, they water, and literally every product kind of like will not stay there. So these also don't stay, but I mean normally like they stay without any kind of problem. I can use them on my waterline and I don't get any irritation, and they stay about as well as anything does on my waterline. But then when I go to take them off, it's no trouble. Just like with the Evercolor shadow sticks that I just showed you guys, I mean all of Mally's products that are supposed to stay, they stay, and then when you want to take them off, like, they just come off the way that they're supposed to. So no trouble with those, and I just love those. So the next product I want to tell you guys about is probably the product that's like tied for like my top favorite Mally product. Maybe with that Brownstone Citychick Smoky Eye palette, and that is the Mally Volumizing Mascara. This mascara is like the god of mascaras. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just fantastic. I've never used the pink one, which is the waterproof one, but this one I've had again and again and again and again, and I just absolutely love it. The only trouble I've ever had with it is one time I got one from Mally's website and it came to me and it was dried out. So that kind of was a bummer, but otherwise they've all been perfectly fine. So if you get one and you think it's too dried out, it's probably a dud, because it comes with like a really nice brush that grips your lashes really well, and the formula is super black. It's not too thin, not too thick. It doesn't like goop up on the bristles or anything like that, and I just love it. It's a wonderful volumizing mascara, and I used it today actually, and my eyelashes really stink. Like, they suck. And so if they look this good with this mascara, this is about as good as they get. I purposely didn't put on false eyelashes today so you guys could see the mascara. Usually I do false lashes when I video. So anyway, this product is amazing. If there's one Mally product that you try, like, let this be it. It's fantastic. And actually on Ulta there is a kit. I saw it was around $50 and you get to try this. You get to try the Poreless Face Defender. I think it's a smaller version than this, but you get to try that, and you get to try, I think, a lip gloss and maybe an eyeliner or one of these shadow sticks or something. But for $50, that is the best deal of the things that I looked on Ulta for. So if you guys are wanting to try something and you want to try it from Ulta and not from QVC, check out that kit, because that kit was really great. In fact, I'll probably link it. I'll do a link like in the comment section for you guys. So if you're interested in that, I will have a link for you. And also, I'm actually going to have a link to all the products that I talked about that I can find. Sometimes they came in kits and things, so I will try my best to do links for all of these things for you. The last product that I want to tell you guys about are her lip glosses. So these are the only lip products that I have from her. I don't have any lipsticks or anything, but her lip glosses are really nice. They are in a variety of different finishes. The two that are my favorites are one called Peach Sorbet, which doesn't have any glitter or anything, and let me swatch it for you. It's just a lovely peachy shade, perfect for spring and summer, and it just looks really, really beautiful on the lips. It stays nicely, but it doesn't stay, it's not super sticky, and it's just a really lovely gloss, and it has a wonderful smell. It's almost like, I don't know, it's just like sugary and maybe a little fruity, like peachy maybe, but it's just, it just smells amazing. It smells really nice. And then the other shade that I have that is my favorite, my other favorite is called Georgelina. And this came free with some different kits that I bought. For a while, TryMallyBeauty.com, you could go to TryMallyBeauty.com and get kits, and you would get like a free one of these with it. I don't know if that's still going, but you guys could try it. And this one is what I'm actually wearing right now on my lips, and it is just mostly clear, a little bit pinky, and it has just like a really pretty shine to it. So it's just a nice gloss overall. And then the last things that I'm going to tell you guys about, I feel like I've talked a lot in this video, but the last things are a few of her brushes. So in general, her brushes are really good quality. I've had a couple that I got that I was kind of like, meh. You know, like I think it had more to do with quality control than that the brush was supposed to be like that. Like I got one crease brush, her windshield wiper crease brush is what she calls it, is one of her favorite brushes. I bought the individual one and I thought it was really scratchy and it wasn't nice, but then I got a couple of others in kits and they ended up being nice. So, but these ones that I bought are all really, really nice. So I like her. I bought the individual powder brush actually, and what I like about it is the size. It's not like a giant powder brush. You can use it for various things if you needed to, and it feels nice. It's kind of like more dense of a powder brush. It's not like a super sheer one, but I just really like it, and the handle feels so nice. It's like really heavy, and it's this beautiful pink, and it's goat hair, I think, natural hair, so I like that. It's a nice brush. And then I really like this blush brush, and I think that this blush brush actually came in one of the palettes, like the More Perfect palette or the Perfect palette or something. I think this is the one that came in that. And I like it because it's not too big for a blush brush. It's on the smaller side, which I like because then, and it's also kind of on the stiffer side, not scratchy stiff, but stiff enough that you can apply right where you want it and blend it out nicely. And so I really like that about this brush. I like the taper gradation and everything. It's also natural hair, so it will work great with powder, and in general just really like that brush. It also is like heavy on the end, so it feels like nice in your hand. And then the last brush that I really love of hers is actually, and I just realized I don't know the name of it, but it is this, I think it's called like the smudger brush or something like that. It looks like this. It's quite soft, not nearly as soft as like my softer Hakuhodo brushes, but it's soft enough but stiff enough. It's pointed at the end, and I love the gradation. It's so nice for doing like how I was talking about. Mally recommended that you for this Brownstone kit, like you put that on your lid and then you put this over and you smudge them together. It's perfect for that. It's a really nice size for so many things. It's just a really, really, really lovely brush for the eye. And so anyway, guys, that concludes, believe it or not, that was so many products, I never thought I would get to the end. That concludes all of my Mally Beauty favorite products. And so I'm going to come back and talk about more products that are good products of hers that just maybe didn't make it into my favorites, but I will tell you guys about those in an upcoming video, as well as some of the products that ended up being kind of duds for me. So there were a few. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you found it helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and I hope I see you guys again soon. Bye!